Like, what do you mean you want to chew on my neck, bro? Like, you trying to nibble on my neck, nigga? Like, that should turn you on, bro? What's good, y'all niggas, man? Why It Sucks to Be Born a Vampire by our boy Wallace, bro. Let's get into it.
The year is 1892, somewhere in southeastern Europe. You're a standard human being on your way to do standard human being things, like ride a horse-drawn carriage, or wander the streets at night with an old-timey oil lamp, or whatever other fun things people were doing at that time to keep busy. But as you walk past...
What did people do back in the day for fun? Like, it feels like... I mean, obviously they had board games back then. I know they had board games. I know they had chess. They probably had dice. I mean, that goes into board games and shit, too. They probably drank a lot, you know? I can imagine them drinking a lot to pass the times, or like, you know, playing sports. They probably played some sports. You know, I don't know. I don't know what they would have done to be bored, bro. When they were bored, they didn't. You know, some shit. They had to have done something, bro. You know, I guess that's how cultures are made, bro.
Past a dark alleyway, a stranger in a long coat emerges from the shadows. The vampire pulls you from the street into the darkness and sinks.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not letting no nigga pull me from the street into the darkness, like into a dark corner, and then nibble on my neck. I'm sorry, no. I'm not letting anybody do that to me, bro. Especially not some old ass vampire ass nigga, bro. It's not some nigga who can't even stand out in the sun, bro. Like, what? Nigga don't got no melanin, bro. Trying to nibble on my neck, bro. Hell no, nigga. What?
Its fangs into your neck. That is your last living moment. Your life might be over, but your death has just begun. The transition.
Oh, bro, nigga, vampires mad sus, bro. Like, what do you mean you want to chew on my neck, bro? Like, you trying to nibble on my neck, nigga? Like, that should turn you on, bro. You need it gives you life to nibble on my neck, bro. Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, some fucking freaky fucks, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
Transition from human to vampire must begin with your actual clinical death. Becoming a vampire is not just a simple blood exchange or magical transformation. Your heart stops beating, your lungs cease to draw breath, and for all medical purposes, you are deceased. Then reanimation. But reanimation isn't immediate. Traditionally, it takes 3 nights for the process to complete.
So what, you gonna be like dead for 3 nights, bro? You just gonna be fucked for 3 nights. Like, niggas just gonna see your dead body in the alley for 3 nights. Or are they gonna bury you, bro? Like, what exactly is gonna happen? Like,
during these 3 nights, your body undergoes excruciating changes that, thankfully, you're not conscious to experience. Your organs rot as they're no longer needed. They literally melt away, leaving behind a sulfurous goo. Your blood clots up and is gradually replaced by the vampiric essence that infected you. Your skin becomes pale and cold.
So if their organs just melt and turn into, like, as you said, sulfurous goo, right? Cool, I get it. They don't got no organs, bro. So where does the blood go? Does the blood just like fall and mix with that sulfuric like I don't know, like, I guess they're playing chemistry, bro. Like, I don't know what exactly is the blood doing. I guess this goes into like the magic aspect of it, bro. It's just like, why the neck though? Like, why can't you bite my arm, bro? Is it because of like the carotid artery, bro? That's kind of fucked. That'll hurt, bro. Like, nigga, you can't just like knock. You have super strength, bro. You literally have super strength. You can literally knock the person out. Take a needle, like extract as much blood as you need, and then go about your merry way. Why does it have to be? Why does it have to be all of that, bro? Why does it have to be all that extra shit, bro? That just seems like that's so vile, bro. Like, nibbling on my neck, bro. It's kind of zesty, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Losing its natural elasticity and warmth. Your canine teeth elongate and sharpen, transforming into the fangs you'll need for feeding. When you finally awaken on the 3rd night, the sensory overload is overwhelming. Your senses are heightened to supernatural levels. Sounds that humans can barely register now boom in your ears.
Nigga, I would be sick if I had to live life hearing all the worms burrowing in the ground, bro. Like, I'm not gonna hold you, but I would actually be sick. I will actually be mad as hell, bro. Are there any animals that can't hear as good as human beings? Like, I know human beings have kind of like, we got decent sight, you know. Our sight is cool. It's decent. Our sense of smell, it's kind of ass, you know. It's kind of ass, to be honest. Now, our sense of hearing, I don't know how good our sense of hearing is on a scale between like other animals, like in the animal kingdom. Like, do primates have like really good hearing or really bad hearing? I don't know. I don't know where we stand, bro. Worms don't got no ears though, so it's like, but they feel the vibrations with their body. I assume them niggas. Let's get into the video, bro. I'm yapping.
Smells become so intense that they can physically repel you. Your vision sharpens dramatically, particularly in darkness, but at the cost of becoming painfully sensitive to bright light. But the biggest challenge is your hunger. This isn't ordinary hunger that can be satisfied with food. In fact, normal food and drinks become repulsive to you, often making you throw up if consumed. What you crave is human blood, and this craving isn't just psychological. It's a biological necessity that causes physical pain if denied for too long.
So if we're the lowest when it comes to hearing, bro, like, you feel me? Super hearing would just fuck us up, bro. Like, I don't know. I don't think that's something I would want, bro. Like, I feel like my brain isn't built to handle all those sounds, bro. I feel like our brain is able to handle the sounds that we can see. You feel me? I don't think we can really see farther than we can hear for real, bro. You feel me? Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. You say you hate hearing people get down, but you're not worried about the worms, nigga. Nigga, you gonna be hearing cheek clapping all the way like 2 cities away, bro. If you can hear a worm in the ground, bro, I promise you can hear a nigga putting in some work in two doors down, bro. You go to a college campus, bro, you are cooked. You're cooked, bro. It's gonna sound like a round of applause, bro. Like, that shit is gonna be terrible. That shit gonna be horrible, nigga. You gonna get all the drama though. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, you gonna know who's cheating, who's this, who's that. I ain't gonna lie, bro. If I was a vampire, man, I feel like I'd be the coldest vampire in the world, bro. I just have like an army of vampire niggas, bro. We gonna have our own island, bro. Our island is gonna be like covered in a dome, bro. For me, it's gonna have a dome on it, bro. I can't even speak too much on this, bro, because I feel like if I go too deep into it, I'm gonna get put on some type of list. You feel me? I don't want to get put on no type of list, so I'm gonna just let the video play.
Most new vampires, you attempt to avoid this hunger, but after a week, it just becomes too much to handle, and you succumb to the impulse like every other vampire before you. The hunger of a newly turned vampire is nearly uncontrollable. During your first few months of undeath, you'll be in a constant state of what feels like excruciating starvation. Proximity to humans becomes both irresistibly enticing, but torturously difficult. You can hear their heartbeats, smell their blood pumping through their veins, and the predatory instinct to feed overwhelms all other thoughts and concerns. Traditionally, in vampire society, the vampire who turns you into one of the undead is tasked with guiding you through this transition period.
You said I'd start a podcast for real. No secret is safe. Hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I be feeling like I be wanting to say certain shit, bro, but I'm like, you never know who's listening. And at the end of the day, I don't want to end up in some fucking CIA black site on the other side of the world, 60 feet underground, in a wet, dark chamber, nigga. So I would just rather not, bro. Yo, I would just rather not, bro.
But vampires aren't the most reliable. Often, you will be left to fend for yourself. Without guidance, newly turned vampires often become savage killers, draining their victims completely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, if I was a vampire, bro, I would not give a fuck. Like, if I'm hungry, nigga, I'm feeding, nigga, I'm gonna feast, bro. Like, what does you having to be if anything, you just end up being one of my vampire thralls, bro. Like, I wouldn't really give a shit about, trying to not to eat you, bro. I would just probably go after bad people in society. I'll probably go into a prison on a rec yard. Vampires don't show up on camera, you feel me? They don't show up in mirrors or on camera. So it's like, I'll really just swoop down, you feel me? I'll swoop down to a prison. And you feel me? Start chomping on niggas, bro. Just start chomping on niggas, bro. I'll go to the protective custody yard where they got all the chomos at, bro. Start chomping on niggas, bro. Bro, like, I'll be straight, bro. Like, I can live pretty good, bro. I can live pretty good. Of course, we're gonna have some super powered vampired out, deviants, but we can solve that when we get there, bro. We can just manufacture like a machine gun to fire silver bullets and all types of shit, bro. You know, you feel me? Advanced problems require advanced solutions, bro. But you can have a constant. Hey, bro, it's too many solutions, man. It's too many solutions, bro.
And leaving conspicuous corpses that draw unwanted attention, which leads to them being hunted down and killed. However, with proper instruction, you'll learn to feed without killing, taking just enough blood to sustain yourself while leaving your victim alive, albeit weakened and with foggy memories of the encounter. Learning to control your hunger is just the first of many adjustments you'll need to make to your new undead experience. There are many severely restricting vulnerabilities that come with being a vampire, defining every day of the rest of your quote-unquote life. Sunlight is your most famous and deadliest enemy. If you find yourself in direct sunlight, no matter how minor, you will be burnt to a crisp in an instant. Even a fleeting torch of light will leave permanent burns. And
So I recently learned that I guess it's all light, right? I guess it's all light that vampires hate. Cool, right? Nigga, so is it just straight pitch blackness that y'all are supposed to live in, bro? So moonlight doesn't hurt vampires? Is that what I'm hearing now, bro?
diffuse daylight through windows or on cloudy days will still cause severe burning and pain. This forces you into a completely nocturnal existence, limiting your activities to the nighttime hours and requiring you to have a secure shelter during daylight. You eventually become incredible at telling the time, developing a strong sense of when the sun is going to arise. In the winter, you have a lot of time to go out in the open and feed, but in the summertime, hours in the day without the sun dwindle. Some
Niggas only get half of the day to feed, bro. You telling me this shit don't look zesty, bro? You telling me this shit don't look zesty to you, bro? Like, this nigga straight passed out, bro. This nigga over here nibbling on his neck, bro. This nigga chomping on his shit, bro. Letting the blood roll down, bro. Like, this shit is it. Hey, man. Hey, man. I saw gay, so I said gay.
Sometimes you have as little as 5 or 6 hours to operate at night before the sun emerges again. You may be functionally immortal, but you have far less productive hours in the day than normal humans. Finding a suitable shelter for the daytime becomes a constant concern. Traditional law states that vampires must rest in soil from their native land, usually within a coffin. Some of the older vampires insist that this is an ironclad rule, and considering they have been around for centuries, if not millennia, they are kind of the experts. However, there's also rumors of more modern vampires who just rest somewhere that is absolutely light-proof, but you don't really want to risk finding out. So you take some soil from your...
You know, I feel like the old vampires probably some hating ass niggas, cause them niggas were probably grew up real poor. You feel me? Cause they're hundreds and hundreds of years old. They were probably like poor peasants back in the day, bro. You feel me? They had to sleep in the dirt. You feel me? These young niggas be having apartments and shit, bro. They said I'll just close my curtains for real, bro. Like, you feel me? The old niggas were probably peasants back in the old day, bro. So it's fucked up, man. It's so fucked up, bro.
your home and place it wherever you rest, just to be safe. Your daytime sleep is not optional. As dawn approaches, you're overcome by paralysis that renders you completely vulnerable until the sun sets again. This daily period of helplessness is perhaps your greatest weakness, because any humans who discover your resting place could easily destroy you while you're unable to defend yourself.
Oh, is that what it is? Niggas be paralyzed, bro? The vampire is paralyzed the whole time? Are you dead ass? Nah, bro, that's wild. Oh, hey, bro, that nigga lucky, bro. That nigga lucky he ain't ever met Bernard the Bodacious Booty Barbarian, bro. That nigga will violate that nigga, bro. Y'all ever met that nigga Fleece Johnson, but that nigga will violate that nigga, bro. That shit's crazy. I don't know why that's where my mind went, bro. But like I was just thinking, bro, nigga, you just a vampire nibbling on necks, paralyzed, bro, violating motherfuckers, bro. Cool, this nigga Bernard the Bodacious Booty Barbarian gonna find you paralyzed, nigga, gonna violate you, nigga. Oh, bro.
Water is also another significant obstacle. Vampires cannot cross running water, so rivers, streams, and even heavy rain can completely hinder your movement. You find yourself more landlocked than most other creatures, and depending where you are in the world, you can find yourself completely trapped by rivers. A vampire born in Cairo is trapped between the Rosetta and the Damietta branches of the Nile.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Niggas can't cross rivers, bro. That's fucked up.
And vampires east of the Mississippi River find it almost impossible to make it to the west coast without great inconvenience. Religious symbols and artifacts pose serious threats as well, Crosses, crucifixes, holy water, and blessed areas all repel or harm you. The psychological impact of being cut from religious institutions and symbols that may have been important in your human life adds to the isolation of vampirism. Churches,
Damn, bro. That nigga said I can't even go to heaven no more, bro. That shit's fucked up.
temples, and other sacred spaces become forbidden territory, further limiting your ability to move freely through human society. In the modern day, this isn't as bad a restriction as it once was, but a surprising amount of buildings have been blessed by priests, making each excursion into unknown territory a risky game to play. Common house.
So they can't go in places that have been blessed by priests, right? But I remember, I was about to say, I think he just said it now, right now. Back in the day, a bunch of buildings that were built would be blessed by priests, bro. So they could be gambling just by walking into any building, bro. And I guess they're going back to the old rule that they can't come into a building without receiving permission first.
Household items like garlic and certain herbs are repulsive and potentially harmful to you. The smell of garlic, which humans might find only a little strong, is unbearably corrosive to your heightened vampire senses. Another part of the vampire curse is that when you come across raw, unprocessed grains like rice or seeds, you become compelled to count them, trapping you in mindless count.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Niggas see some shit like that and get compelled to count it, bro? No fucking way. I did not know that was a vampire weakness, bro. These niggas are some goobers, bro. These are some fucking goobers, nigga.
Until every grain is accounted for. It's a strange but debilitating weakness, often exploited by knowledgeable vampire hunters who've dedicated their lives to murdering your kind. Your relationship with human residences brings another limitation. The need for invitation. You cannot enter a private residence unless explicitly invited in by someone who lives there. This restriction doesn't apply to public buildings or abandoned structures.
It has to be something that's being lived in currently.
But it severely limits your ability to access potential victims or blend into human society. Once invited, you can enter freely until your invitation is revoked, making it essential for any vampire to get permission before attempting to function in human society.
So basically you have to get permission before. I mean, just go work as like a pizza delivery guy or a police officer. You go to be a police officer and then, or just buy the uniform, I guess. And then, you'll be straight, bro. You'll be straight. On God, you'll be straight, bro. On God, you'll be straight. There's so many ways you can go about doing this, bro, and live normally.
Mirrors present
you just gotta work night shift every time.
Yet another challenge. As a vampire, you don't have a reflection. This isn't just inconvenient. It's a constant reminder of your unnatural state. Your image does not appear in mirrors, photographs, or any reflective.
Damn, you can't even get a work ID because you don't show up in pictures, bro. That shit will be crazy.
Surface. One of the few ways to figure out what you look like is to have someone draw you, which is also far less likely in the modern world than what it would have been for the older vampires. These physical limitations are difficult enough, but the psychological and social aspects that come with being a vampire are equally challenging. The transition from human to vampire isn't just physical, it also fundamentally alters your mind and emotional responses. As the
So what, niggas just become mad depressed? Is that what I'm hearing?
decades pass, your emotional range gradually shrinks. Strong emotions like love, empathy, and compassion become increasingly difficult to access, while predatory emotions like hunger and dominance intensify. This emotional transformation isn't immediate, but progresses slowly, meaning you'll still remember what it was like to feel human connection, even as it becomes increasingly foreign to you.
Damn, bro. So niggas still keep their sentience, bro. You're still able to be like, yeah, man, I remember what it was like to feel these things. Damn. That's low-key torture, though. Like, that's like stripping your humanity away. I can see why it would kind of suck. I could definitely see why it would kind of suck, bro.
Becoming a vampire changes the way you see people. Everyone around you turns into either a potential meal or a curiosity. Even those you once loved aren't just friends or family anymore. They're food sources. Whether you like...
Damn. That's how that nigga see that shit, bro. He's just like, yeah, bro, y'all are just here just in case. Literally just in case I really, really need to, bro. But like, can't you just nigga work at a blood bank or something, bro? Like, there's literally so many other options that you can live a relatively normal life, bro. But you know, realistically speaking, you're gonna outlive all of society, so I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Like it or not. It's hard to have real relationships when there's such a messed up power imbalance. A lot of vampires end up keeping their distance, quietly watching certain humans from the shadows, maybe feeding on them now and then, without ever letting them know the truth. It's a weird, one-sided connection. But for most vampires, it's the closest thing they have to friendship. Then there's the whole issue of time.
So them niggas just be watching them, bro. They just be watching them. They don't even interact with them or anything. They just want, damn, that's kind of stalker behavior. But you know, I guess if you can't really have a friend, that's the closest thing you can do, bro. Cause I ain't gonna lie, if a motherfucker was just following me around watching me, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I might have to drake you down, bro. We might have to get active with the switch, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man.
While you stay exactly the same, the people you knew in your old life grow older and eventually die. Your family, your friends, they all fade away. And it happens so fast it barely feels real. You can't even go to their funerals. The sun won't let you. So you're stuck mourning them from the sidelines.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. That's kind of sad, though. That's really fucking sad, bro. I'm not gonna hold you.
Never really getting to say goodbye. Time starts to feel different when you're immortal. Decades blur into years, which blur into centuries, especially since your nights are so much shorter than the daylight hours you have to avoid. Human worries and short-term dramas seem to be pointless, and urgency becomes a foreign concept. You might spend years just lost in thought, only bothering to resurface when you need to feed. The longer you live, the more detached you become. And before you know it, you're thinking less like a person and more like something else. Your relationship with...
Man, bro, that's crazy. That nigga's humanity just fucking drained away, bro. That's kind of sad, bro. Nigga say he spent years in thoughts, bro. That's some sick ass shit, bro.
your maker adds another layer of complexity to your undead existence. In most vampire traditions, a maker has absolute authority over their fledgling. Kind of like a...
Are you serious? Like absolute authority? That nigga can do anything, bro. I don't like that, bro. See, this is why I said vampires are kind of zesty, bro. Like, just the nature of a vampire is so fucking zesty, bro.
parent-child relationship.
Ain't nothing wrong with being zesty, you feel me? It's just like, that ain't me, though. You feel me? Like, that ain't me, though, bro. Like, if you zesty, bro, be zesty, bro. You feel me? I support your zestiness, bro. But that ain't me, though. On God, that ain't me, though, nigga.
Shit, but with a much darker twist. In the beginning, you have no choice but to obey them, and stepping out of line can mean serious consequences. That power dynamic doesn't fade either. Vampire society runs on strict hierarchies, where the older you are, the more power you hold. Younger vampires are expected to show respect, or suffer the consequences. Unlike humans, vampires aren't big on community. Most prefer to stick to themselves, or stay in small, controlled groups, usually just the maker and their offspring. When larger gatherings do happen, they're tense and dangerous. Too many predators in one place is a recipe for disaster. Some vampire, quote-unquote, courts do exist, but they function more like authoritarian regimes, where strict rules are brutally enforced to keep the chaos in check. The rules governing the creation of new vampires are particularly strict. Turning someone into a vampire isn't something you can just do on a whim. It's a big deal. Too many vampires mean more competition for food and a higher risk of humans catching on. And that's why most vampire societies have strict rules about it.
So what, you can't just come around start making new vampires, bro? So as a fledgling vampire, can you just start making your own niggas, bro? Start making an army of niggas, or do you not have the ability to turn people into new vampires as a fledgling? You gotta be like an older vampire, like an elder vampire. Because if that's the case, nigga, I'll just go sit my ass down for like 700 years, nigga. Get some age on me, nigga. After all, I'm not gonna die. Like, nigga, all I got is time, bro. And besides, how the hell are they gonna find me? If I step out of line, nigga, you don't got GPS, bro. How you gonna find me, bro? I don't got organs, nigga. I don't got blood, nigga. But you gonna smell me? You gonna smell me, bro? You gonna track me down on the CCTV camera? No, nigga. I'm gonna disobey you and I'm gonna hit the dash, bro. You're not gonna do shit, bro. And plus, what are your hands like? Cause now we both, you feel me? We both got like hold on. We both got the vampire powers. You can turn into a bat. I can turn into a bat. You can fly. I can fly, bro. You got super speed, super strength. I got super speed, super strength. But what are your hands like, though, nigga? That's what I'm asking, bro. So it's like, yeah, you might be the elder vampire, bro, but you can still catch this work, though. You feel me? Like, you can still get your ass dropped, nigga. So please take several seats, bro. For the love of God.
If you turn someone without permission from the elders, you're not just in trouble, you're dead. If you ever want to create a companion to share eternity with, you'll have to jump through a lot of political hoops and play the vampire power game just right. Even if you get permission, choosing who to turn is a huge responsibility. This person is going to be tied to you for decades, maybe centuries, and everything they do reflects back on you. If they screw up, break vampire laws, or attract too much attention, you're the one who pays the
Damn, bro, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
price. That's why vampires are so careful about who they bring into the fold. It's not just about having company, it's about survival. Then there's the more moral side of it. Turning someone means dooming them to the same existence you're stuck with. Endless hunger, isolation, and watching the world move on without you. A lot of older vampires refuse to do it, knowing firsthand how heavy immortality.
Yeah, bro, I can understand why the old ass niggas would do that shit, bro. I can definitely understand why the old motherfuckers would do that shit, bro. The young niggas, they're like, hell nah, bro. I need to share some life with somebody, bro. Or, well, share some death. Cause like, okay, when everybody has a soul, right? Or let's talk about the soul speak. If we're talking about vampires, nigga, we can talk about souls, bro. So if everybody got a soul, bro, and you a vampire, nigga, you get turned into a vampire, nigga, what happens to your soul, bro? Does your soul just die and your body lives on as a husk, which is the vampire? You feel me? We getting too deep into theology, bro. Like damn, bro. The more you think about this shit, the more this shit don't like. Anyway, vampires don't exist, so it's not meant to be logical, bro. But it's like, damn, nigga.
Mortality can be. The ones who do usually pick people who are already dying or suffering, convincing themselves they're offering mercy. Others, they just enjoy watching their creations struggle, treating it like a cruel game. Eventually,
they like watching their creations struggle. I can see that, you know, I can definitely see that, cause I'll be playing that world box game, bro, the one where you're God, and I'll definitely be making them niggas struggle. I'll be showing them niggas hell, bro. I'll be putting them niggas through absolute fucking hell, bro.
you'll have to decide where you stand in all of this, because if you don't, you'll end up an outcast. And in the vampire world, being completely alone is a dangerous thing. Drinking human blood comes with a whole mess of ethical dilemmas. Unlike wild animals that hunt purely on instinct, you still have enough of your human mind to know exactly what you're doing. And what it
Okay, nigga, and it's just up to you to not feel empathy, bro. Nigga, empathy's a choice, nigga. You can choose to, you know, feel bad or not. You know, it might fuck you up mentally, but you know, you just gotta be like, hey, this is my existence now, bro. I'm no longer human. I can't be tied to these humans' emotions, nigga. You just gotta accept what you are, bro. For me, ain't no cure for it. Maybe if you get cured, you can then look back and be like, ah, damn, you know, fuck. But you know, at the end of the day, it's like I choose me over you, gang. I choose my hunger over you, brody. So it's like, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
it means. Every vampire deals with this in their own way. Some only feed on willing victims, using their powers to mesmerize them into compliance, convincing themselves that it's some form of consent. Others justify it by targeting criminals, or those
My people, that's exactly what I said I would do, bro. I would literally only do it to criminals, bro.
they see as deserving. A few older vampires have even adapted to survive on animal blood, even though it's not as nourishing, requires more frequent feeding, and
Damn, bro. Damn, bro. So the older vampires be like, yeah, man, hell no, we not doing this shit, bro.
earns them the scorn of more traditional vampires. No matter who you choose to feed on, the act itself is always intense. Vampire saliva dulls pain and floods the victim's system with euphoria, making the experience disturbingly pleasurable for them. Some even
No fucking way, bro. No fucking way that shit is like an aphrodisiac, bro. That shit is insane.
seek you out for it, just to experience the high. But no matter how much they might enjoy it, the reality is the same. You're using them to survive. Modern technology only complicates things. Blood banks might seem like an easy solution, but hospital security systems make it risky. And the preservatives used in
What hospital security system? You can't be seen on camera. You literally can't be seen on camera.
Stored blood make it less satisfying. Plus, if supplies start disappearing, people notice. And in vampire society, getting caught isn't just a personal problem, it's a death sentence. If humans ever found out about the undead, it wouldn't end well for either side. So, when it comes to feeding...
Nigga, it wouldn't end well for the humans, bro. Like, I feel like vampires, if vampires are actually smart, and they got years and years and centuries of knowledge, plus they are humans, so they know how human beings operate, nigga, y'all are cooked. We're cooked. If vampires existed, bro, nah, ain't nobody doing shit, gang. Like, nigga, I am. But I just know that I'll get overpowered because there's a bunch of dumb niggas in the world, and a bunch of dumb niggas will get turned into vampires and start feeding. So I know I probably get ganged by like 8 vampires at once. I'll probably knock like 4 of them out. You feel me? Just me though. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. Vampires, man.
The unspoken rule is simple. Stay hidden or don't stay at all. The modern world makes staying hidden harder than ever. Security cameras, facial recognition, and digital records means you can't just slip through the cracks like vampires used to. You don't show up
Why are you hiding from the camera, bro? You literally can't be
on
seen.
video, which sounds useful, until someone notices the empty space where your face should be. Simple things like opening a bank account or renting an apartment become nearly impossible without someone to handle it for you. That's where familiars come in. These human servants act as your link to the modern world, handling the paperwork and blending in where you can't. But loyalty doesn't come free. Most familiars are bond to their vampire masters through blood, a small taste every now and then, keeping them hooked and obedient. The catch? They are still human. They age, they die, and every time you bring in a new one, you take a risk that they'll betray you. Then there's money, essential for staying comfortable and, more importantly, staying unnoticed. Older vampires have it easy. They've had centuries to build wealth, stashing fortunes under fake identity.
Type shit. That's probably how they did. Yeah, bro.
And hiding assets behind layers of human-controlled businesses. Newer vampires, not so much. If you weren't rich before you turned, you'll have to figure it out fast.
I was about to say, you just gonna have to figure that shit out, nigga.
Because without money, you don't just risk hunger, you risk exposure. And in this world, that's a death sentence.
So, like, if vampires find out who the fuck you are, how are they gonna find you, bro? Like, how do they have a vampire radar or vampire tracker, or can they do they just all sense each other?
Vampire abilities might seem like they make up for all the downsides, but they come with their own problems. Superhuman strength and speed sound great, until you constantly have to hold back to avoid crushing the fragile humans around you. Hypnotizing people with a glance makes feeding and staying hidden easier, but it only deepens the predator-prey dynamic that slowly strips away whatever humanity you have left. As vampires get older, some develop even stranger powers, shapeshifting into bats, wolves, or mist, moving objects with their minds, even controlling the weather. These abilities are impressive, but in vampire society, they're also a sign you're slipping further from what you once were. Some embrace it, reveling in their inhuman nature.
Hey man, I think like that might probably be the route that I would go, but like not to that extent though. Like I'll probably just be like, all right, cool, this is me now. I'm a vampire now. Cool, this is my reality. It is what it is, bro.
Others feel uneasy about the fear they inspire, knowing they're becoming something unrecognizable. But the real curse of vampirism isn't the hunger, the isolation, or even the danger. It's the emptiness. Humans live with a deadline, which gives their lives urgency, meaning a reason to chase dreams and leave something behind. You don't have that. There's no rush, no real stakes. You can master skills, create art, hoard wealth, and build relationships. But when you have forever, what does any of it really matter? The centuries stretch ahead, endless and unchanging. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, what's the point? Eventually, even the oldest vampires reach a breaking point. Some decide they've had enough, choosing to end it by stepping into the sun or picking a fight with a vampire hunter they know they won't win. Immortality.
Nigga said, I'm about to go out, but I'll go out in a blaze of glory. Face ass. I respect it though, especially the one with the vampire hunter, bro. Like that one is dope. That one's actually dope as hell, bro. Like going out that way.
For all its promises, often turns out to be more of a curse than a gift. Others don't end things outright, but slip into deep sleep instead, shutting themselves away for decades or even centuries. They only wake when something forces them to, whether it's danger, necessity, or just a fleeting moment of curiosity about how the world has changed. A rare few manage to find purpose in the endless stretch of time. Some dedicate themselves to preserving knowledge, some manipulate human affairs from the shadows, and others obsess over unraveling the mysteries of their own existence. But even they aren't immune to the weight of eternity. No matter how much purpose they find, there are always stretches of time, years, sometimes centuries, where the emptiness takes hold, and they're left wondering if anything they do really matters. You'll have to...
I can imagine that, bro. If all I ever seen was literally just infinity, bro. Like, I'm just waiting. Yeah, I'm trying to pass time. I'm doing this, that, and the third. But like, it's gonna feel like you're just trying to hold off the inevitable, bro. Like, you don't even have anything. Damn, bro, that would fucking suck, bro.
To face the same choice as every vampire before you. If you haven't been hunted down or killed by then, you'll hit what some call the ennui. That creeping, inevitable point where immortality starts to feel unbearably empty. This existential period is the defining moment that separates the adult vampires from the elderly vampires. Some vampires try to fill the void by surrounding themselves with younger vampires and loyal familiars, building their own little empire of the undead, while others search for a cure to vampirism itself. But in the end,
why would you want to search for a cure to... yeah, vampirism kind of sucks, so I would see why you want a cure.
Vampire society is so closed off, so detached, that you can do whatever you want, but you know that one way or another, it won't make much of a difference.
That was the video, man. Appreciate y'all niggas for watching, bro. Like, subscribe, all that shit, bro. And without further ado, man, we're out. Peace.